Big election day today. Primaries. Can you talk about who you're supporting?
I voted. I suspect you all did as well. But at this point, have sent this election cycle out in terms of active endorsement.
Can you comment on the fact that, I mean, no secret, really since even last year, really dirty politics in South Carolina. What do you think about the turn that this election has taken?
I think it's horribly unfortunate. It turns people off from the process of voting. They say whatever's going on over there, it sounds like a bunch of juveniles arguing or throwing mud against the wall, and I'm not going to participate in that. And yet that's tragic. In other words, that's almost the intended goal of some of the folks that are of the mindset that says throw as much mud against the wall, hope that something sticks, and that's the way you advance the political agenda or one's electoral chances. I think that it does turn people off, and that's really, really bad for the political process. I hope at some point there's a backlash to it, because we need to have a real debate in South Carolina on a whole host of issues that really do impact people's lives. But I guess part of it's as old as time, which is this notion of the last couple of weeks being the silly season of politics, wherein all kinds of accusations are thrown back and forth. Seems to be something that was with us in colonial times, and it's certainly with us today.
Are you disappointed in the fact that a lot of it is centralized around your party here in South Carolina, though?
Yeah, but we've taken steps. For instance, when I came into office, we were one of only 3 states in the country where you could give unlimited and undisclosed amounts to a political party or to a political caucus. That had been vetoed twice by my predecessor. It took us a couple of different attempts, but we passed that change. We were able to pass change to, transparency, so that we could go electronically to see where money was coming from. We've done some things to try and, again, open up the process so that there's more transparency, so people can get a quicker sense of where some of these claims or counterclaims are coming from. But we haven't done everything. There's still much more to be done on that front. And ultimately, what's most important is people's reaction. In other words, that people say enough is enough, and if that's coming out of this camp, well, then I'm not going to support that camp, because again, I think it's really bad for the political debate in our state.
Do you have advice for whomever does take over for you, whomever takes this position as governor? What can they do to continue, obviously, the momentum we have going with bringing small businesses, signing laws right now? Any advice for them?
No, again, it's premature for any of that. I will certainly have my pearls of wisdom, some of which may be worth something, some of which won't be.
Coming up in January, you'll be out of office, the next governor assumes office. What are your plans, and where do they stand right now?
I don't have a clue. I think you take it a day at a time. Yeah, I'm going to go to work for Red Ventures. That's my I think that the only reality is that I head back down toward Charleston. That much is a certainty. Beyond that, it's sort of fill in the blanks. I think it's very important to run all the way through the finish line with the job at hand. While the legislative session is in the process of closing down, I mean, we got 45 bills we got to deal with tonight. We're still dealing with the budget. We're not yet complete with that, but that'll sort of wrap up here over the next couple of weeks. And then you got to go through hurricane season, which has a lot of ups and downs, and we're going to continue to have things happening on the economic development front. So I think it's important to run all the way through the finish line, and then when January gets here, I'll figure it out.
I want to ask you, do you think, you talked about this back several months ago, do you think that you are being able to focus now and be able to leave the legacy that you wanted to leave as governor?
Life is an imperfect process. None of us are ever going to be able to leave the exact legacy that we wanted to leave in a perfect world, both due to circumstance and due to our own mistakes as human beings. But what I would say is that if you look at the whole of the 8 years, there have been some remarkable things that have happened from the economic development standpoint. There have been some remarkable changes from the standpoint of statute that I think betters the ultimate business climate of the state and one's chances of building a business, or frankly the dreams that go with life. There have been some substantial enhancements to quality of life here over the last 8 years. And I think that that larger context is, I hope, what people will see. Not again, not in any way erasing my different shortcomings, but again, the larger context I think has been a good one. As to legacy, I'll worry about, let others worry about, quote, so-called legacy, and we're going to just, continue trying to get the job done here for the next 6 months.
Have you enjoyed it?
Depends on the day.
But you're going to keep your vote today secret, I guess.
Exactly right, exactly right. Good to see you.